Okay, it looks like there's somebody here. Somebody. You know, when I say that word, I'm really going to be here doing a little bit of artwork, putting together the beginning of a design of Fibonacci. I lost one of my designs. I can't find it. I'm not really sure which one it is, so I'm working on another one. Also, I want to speak about, and it's very, very, how can I explain this? What I'm doing shouldn't be done, and I shouldn't even be sharing this video probably for about 6 months from now. But as I do my work in progress, I always overlap and overlap so you can see the end result of what started as a dot and a dash and understanding area, space, and what you can and cannot do using a dot and a dash, or certain games like the game of pool, if we were using it to connect the pockets. Or should we have 4 pool tables, or should we have 9 pool tables coming together? And you would understand that if I show you, if you've seen before, by putting different geometric shapes together and learning doing what I do as the builder's code, is reaching from corner to corner only, or drawing on the lines. And the more games you have, if you have the division of games, which is the addition, or if you have the X marks the spot games, which is the multiplication, because when X marks the spot, it's because you can't mark a spot without the X. But in that said, you would say Earth 7. But you can mark a spot without the X, because you can do the addition of dividing 4 area spaces, and we'll call that Mars 6. In the spirit 91, 7 by 13, in the spirit of 76. 4 times 19, 76. Where do we get that 19 from? 4 by 19, 40, and 4 by 9 is 36. 36 and 40, 76. It's in the higher house. Where do I get that number from? Because it's what 3 and 6, 360 degrees do mathematically. What 180 degrees does, and what is to be understood, if we were turning these cubes, and remember, we were created in the image of the Creator, creating thyself. In every aspect, in every fashion, on every single level, that everything we think comes from a main conscience, and whatever you think you're thinking has already been thought before, other than another thought that might be new to you, but may not be new to the system, but may be new to the system. That if we were to work this a little bit backwards and say, imagine this. Imagine if I was in the place of the Creator, what would I do? Well, I'd make many of me. I'd just keep mirroring me. And I'd make opposites of me. And then I put it to a central conscience where we can share all the information. Free speech. So we can understand the differences and what moves us apart and what brings us together, red, white, and blue, the magnet. So I make many of me, and many of me share and give us some freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of movement. But wait a second, we don't have freedom of movement. The minute there's more than one of you, freedom of movement changes. Because imagine if I stand over here, you can't stand where I'm standing. So all of a sudden, we have to understand that there's no longer free movement. Is it a law or an understanding? And then we make so many of me, we're all driving cars that we created, driving down the street. You can't be where my car is, because if my car crashes into your car, we both don't have any cars. So now we have to put down some lines, rules, and regulations so that we can survive in survival mode. We should also understand how to protect each other, that going in a triangle, right, we can always be one behind the other and in between both at the same time. Triangle. To note that the triangle has many proportions to it, that a triangle can also be what is, if it was the pyramid triangle, it would be at the corner of each corner of the square. That if we should remove the triangle from each corner of the square, we'd end up with what this is into an octagon. So what is 6 sides will end up to be 8 sides only because of the chopped off corners. But this area will always be full, and the chopped off corners of what is 3 will now be split in half. Now we can take 2 of these, bring them together, of that square and this square. But imagine we didn't take anything off and everything was energy, and we moved 2 squares into each other at the corner, where now it looks like it was chopped off and made into an octagon, and it's really not. It's still these 6 sides, and 6 sides is noted to be a hexagon. What is the difference between 6 and 8 in designs? I'm going to get back into my Fibonacci in the middle in a minute, but I'm just going to show you the difference between 6 and 8 in the designs. If we go to a number 9, or if you want to go to a number 9, or if you want to say a number 9, that's one kind of 9, right? Now, if I was going to say this was the 9, and I was going to say this was the 6, or I can go back to here, right, and say this is the 6. Here's my 6, here's my 9, or here's my 6 and here's my 9. But in between both of them, I'm going to show what is the number 8. Now, I know you've seen this before, Tammy, because I do it all the time, but I just, oh my God, I didn't want to put this close to this. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the design now. Let me measure. No, I won't. Not happy about that, and I don't want to erase it, so I'm going to change the design here and explain it in a minute. So for those who haven't been here, when we do this same piece of artwork, I like to call this the 33 into the sun. 33 by 47 equals to 1551, or actually you'll revert it into 181. And the one heaven spirit divide of 1. We're going to end up with 17 over here and 17 over here. And 8 times 1 is 8, and 10 equals to 18, which is going to equal to 8, 9, 8. 81 is square Venus. This one is high. We're not going to, let me just finish off this. Let me just, hold on a second. Let me do it this way. And then we're going to do it that way, right? We can also continue the creation this way, to where 1 is going in this way and 1 is going in that tunnel, unless 1 is going down that tunnel and 1 is going up in that tunnel. Which way are the tunnels going? We can also turn it this way. Let me see, was it this way? Not really sure which way it's going to go, but you can see that anything on a triangle is actually showing distance. So we're going to show you that I was talking about 6 and 8. So I'm talking about 6 and 8 is what happens is this was an obligated line of division between the separation of these two. And here was the other line. Here's the line that goes between the two, creating the numbers. So that's where you have your 6. So that's your hexagon. Now, when you turn into the octagon, an octagon is known to stop. Octagon is known for red with white writing. We don't have any stipulations for hexagon, but we sort of do with slow-moving vehicles. So when we do this, when we want to connect the 8, we go ahead and now we connect what is above and what is below. When we straighten this out and keep it flat, it actually looks like this. So you can ask yourself a question. Is this all turning its rotation around this pole? to where 6 turns around 2? It's a question to be discussed. 6 turns, okay, 6 turns around. Let me mark that. 6 turn. Well, this pen is 6. Wow, I wrote that twice, eh? 6 turns around. I should send a letter to the company. Their pens just open up all the time. So when you're turning 6 around 2, you're actually turning, what is 52? Very frustrating, I'm telling you, very frustrating. 52 is the numeric value for Earth. And 2 is the value of 58. The only thing I can have for 58 is silver is 85. 5 and 8 is actually what is 22 and 12 equaling to 34. So it's turning around the direct current. 58, I'm just trying to think of what the other evaluation is. 40, it becomes 53 mathematically. 8 times 5, 40, which is blue. 8 and 5, 13. So now it turns around the blue moon. 40 and 13. 7 by 13 is 91. It's turning around. What is 13? Again, back to man. So 13 becomes man's bar mitzvah. So what is that bar that it is turning around? The bar can be the pole turning around man's bar, man in the moon. Man in the moon, but man ends up to be in the sun and woman ends up to be in the moon when the woman becomes the male. I'm going to get a glass of water. I'm going to come back. If you have any questions, go ahead. Everything is a long roll here. I'm going to be doing a little artwork on Fibonacci. Then I'm going to go and explain it after. Never really sure where I am. There's so many things that I fall behind. I see so many things during the day. But you know what? Talk is talk. Whoa. Just give me 1 minute. I'm coming back. Give me a minute. Give me 1 second here. Hey, kitty, you want to come in? You know, you can also ask yourself that question, right? There's a big question that you can ask yourself. And here goes the question. Red and blue, little boy blue. There's a little boy blue who told some lies. I'm trying to think that red is for Republican and blue is for boy. Blue is for Democrat. Pink is for girls, but red is for the devil. So I'm trying to think, since the devil backwards says live. Devil backwards says live. L-I-V-E. Now, V and E are the reverse alphabet of each other, which is telling me about the sun. It's also telling me that it's a continuation of the DNA. L and I is the 12th and the 9th letter, giving me 21, giving me all the numerics for blackjack, in which 3 and 9, creation came together with the wing of an angel. So is it 1, 2, 3, or is it 4, 3, 2? Which one is it, since this planet runs off of 4, 3, 2 and 1,440 minutes in a day times 3 is 4,320, to where it was called total reset in the year 2000, which is the Hebrew year 5760. 4 times 1440 equals 5760, where 57 is a representation of AI and the moon, to where 3 times 19 is 57, but 4 is 76. 7 representing Earth and 6 representing Mars. 7 and 6 equals to 13, and is a division of what is known as 55, or mathematically what is known as 8. And 88 comes into 8, noted as Pegasus, and purple made of red and blue, Democrat and Republican. Where does all this come from? The word Pegasus equals to 88. The 8 times 8, 8 plus 8 equals 64, and 16 equals to 80. So 88 comes into 8. You have more than one, so obviously things are going to change. For the female bat mitzvah, 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3 and 2, 5. That where 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. How and where does 7 come from? 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals 3 and 4, 7. Now it is known that the 13, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, 13 for the bar mitzvah and the king. It is known for the 12, which creates the 5. The E is for the female, and it is the bat mitzvah, and it's for the queen. But everything gets shifted over. So we're going to move it on over. So what happens now in this, and I'm going to try and get back to where I was, to where 7 and 7 equals to 14, okay, equals to 5, okay, right? To where we calculated this from 13, and that was the king. And do note that the numeric value for king is 41, to where the queen, right, to where the queen, or the 12th card, is going to create what is 3 and 2 equals to 5. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2. So 5 and 5 equals to 10 equals to 1. Just note that this is the numeric value for Mars. And MDCLXI, VI is going to equal 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, and 1. To note that the numeric value for this rotation is going to equal to what is 9 and 6. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3. Also to note that in French, right, the last number in French is 69. Three times 23. To note that 3 times 24 is 96 in rotation. Sorry, 4 times 24 in rotation. To note that there's a division between these two numbers, between what is CD, or D and C, a division in the house. 5 and 6. Where and why and where do I find this? The invert to what is C on a cube is D. The invert alphabet to what is 4, okay, is what's going to be W, to where the invert of C is going to be X. Let me fix the Okay, I got that right. Okay, I don't know who. Let me just read through this. I'm going to get back to this. Hopefully, I don't forget. Everything fits into a position. In French, 69 ends numbers. You can debate this with me. That is fine. I'm going to give you my reasoning. I'm not right and I'm not wrong, and neither is anybody else. It's all in your understanding of the perception and the angle that someone is taking in order to explanate this rational reality or irrational reality. Okay, so 3 times 23 or 4 times 24 equals to what is 96, equals to what is 69, to where what happens is when you get to 70, right, you're going to say in French, this, when they say 70, they say 60 plus 10. Now, there's 2 basic bottom set calculations in numbers. And it's 1 through 9. And then it's 10 through 19. Those are your base calculations of numbers. Where the beginning, the center, and the end number, 1 through 19, is going to be, is it 10? Is it 10? 1 plus 9 is 10 plus 9 is 19. So the center is 10. So it's 1 at the beginning, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end. 1, you count all the way to 10, and you count all the way to 19. The thing is, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 is 1, and 1 and 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. We end up with 1, 1, 1. To note that 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 equals to a total of 111. Just ironic the way it looks, to where 29 is the IT system birth, so that when you're drawing these bricks, inside the drawing of these bricks is you have the T, as well as the inside drawing of these bricks. You're going to have, what is the 2? And what is the 5? And as well, the inside drawing of these bricks right? You're going to have what is the H and what is the high. You're going to have high 52 T20. Now, at the same time, when you draw a brick from one side and over, it is the L beginning. So you now have HITL. If you want to look at the rundown of the brick this way, you now have the E letter. So you now have HITLE. The hit. Time, heaven, spirit, born into the sun. Now, you can have another question that when you split this, now I really don't want to say it, but when I split certain letters, if I can show you to them, it will look like when it comes together either a TV set, in which I'm going to get back to what I was just doing 2 minutes ago. Right? Was it here? Did I bring it out over here? No, I did not. Okay. I was talking about, and where did I do that? I don't even remember where I did it. It was the 12 and the 13, which would be 3 and 4, which would be C and D. Okay, which is reverts to the 24th and the 23rd letter, the X and the W. I'm trying to see if I can catch up with my my thoughts that were in the future. So we end up with this, and there's the TV, right. So what happens with TV is when we did this math,
we ended up with 5 and 7, which 57 is the Heinz moon. At the same time, 75 is also electric, right? And we're going to use electric. We're going to say 70 and 5 because there's 2 of these. And then if you want to take and cancel them both, we're going to go 65 and 10 if we cancel them both. Okay, I'm just trying to go back and see something where I was with this. Then we went to 7 and 7 equals to 14. Equals to 5, to where we went 5 and 5 equals to 10 equals to what is 1. But at the same time we did this, this will end up to be multiplication also, which is 25, and this equals to 7, or gate Q, to where 7 times 7 equals to 49. Okay, 49 equals to 4, and that gate Q is inside the sun. The Fox passage in the sun for the DNA through the birth of 9 in the 4th planet of Mars, through the 7th gate of the 2nd sun, which is Uranus. One of the first suns is the Venus sun, and then the last sun is the Rat sun. And that's why we have Ratzinger, because if you turn it around, it becomes Saturn. Saturn is numeric value 39, and now I remember I was talking about 69 and 96, to where that 33, the multiplication equals to 9, and the addition equals to what is 6. So we were talking about a dot and the multiplication, or we can have multiplication over here. And here, it's X marks the spot, not over here. In this one, we're going to create the window. This dot is created on the window, or an X marks the spot. But when you mark it this way, you're cutting every area in half. This is where Mars 51 comes in, which is 5, 6. 1 times 5, 1 plus 5. You can also say flow, wolf, 3. So right away, we got the number 3 involved in this. We also got 30 and 11 equaling to 41. It's going to lead up to number the IT system in the sun. Earth does not lead up to that number right away. Earth will lead up back to Mars. Earth's numeric value is 52. When you multiply it and add it, it equals to 17Q, and 3 by 17 is equal to 51. To bring things into formation, you have to multiply them by 3. And to understand the difference in formation, you have to multiply it by 4. When you multiply it by 4, it becomes 68, or 4 by 17, and the word house is now equal to 68, and 68 is the dividing gate of DC. Or what I'm going to say is 1 force DC. C and E, that's your any craps, that's your creation of the E worlds. 30, this one here is for your gold. The total is 33, and 8 is 41, and 6 is 47, the same numeric value for what is time, that we should take time by the maximum number multiplication, which is 33, and it equals back to 1551, which is the one spirit in the heaven of one. So now when we do this, 7, 11 becomes 2, and this becomes 6. So now we're going to get 12 and 8 equals to 20, and that 20 is your T, and we're T minus counting down in the house of Bait. This 1 and 2 will equal to 3. It becomes 3 and 8 equals to 11. But this is where it all begins, right over here. How do you get 3? 3 comes from 11. 11 equals 3, and 22 equals to 8. 33. Let's just do it this way. Where do I get this from? Where do I get this from? 1 times 1 equals to 1. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. 2 plus 1 equals to 3. 2 times 2 equals to 4. 2 plus 2 equals to 4 plus 4 equals to 8. H and C, or how about saying cache? Is it the computer cache? And what does the computer cache, or C and H inside the word, or the 7th inning stretch for church and the angels? I need another drink of water for a second. I'm going to continue on with this, and I know there's something I missed. Also inside of 33, the multiplication and addition will add up to the numeric values of what fits into what is 6 and 9, 15. 6 times 9 is 5 and 4. 5 and 4 is where the real woman and the real man set forth, that at the age of 12, when the woman has finished her child ages, it ends at 12 years old. And for the male, it ends at 13 years old. That when you have a bat mitzvah, right, that is at the ending and celebrating the 12 years of life, or 156 moons. Remember that number 1, 0, 1, 2, or is it 1, 2, 3? There's a reason for it. One of the reasons is that when I take my calculator and I divide 147 by 3, I'll end up with 0.333, 0.666. Only in this one will I end up with 1. So if I'm ending up with 1, I'm going to come here. Otherwise, if I divide it by 4, I end up with 1.333. I end up with 1.666. I end up with 2. I end up with 2.333, 2.666. I end up with 3. So I understand from here. Or if I multiply it, 3 by 1, 3. 3 by 4, 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 by 7 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 by 2 is 6. 3 by 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 3 by 2 is 6, the letter F. 3 by 5 is 15, the letter O. 3 plus 8, 3 times 8, 24, the letter X. It says Fox 45. And 666, to where 333, the 3 little pigs, or the birth of the 3 little pigs that takes 3 months and 3 weeks and 3 days to be born. The 3 little pigs. We have 369, 369, 369, and then the next one rotates at 10, 11, and 12, and then 1, 2, 3 disappear. So when you go 10, 11, and 12, you'll have 10 over 7, 11 over 8, 12 over 9, 21. That your 3 and 9 equals to 12. Your 2 and 8 equals to 10. Your 1 and 7 equals to 8. You have 8, 10, and 12, but in the actuality of only this one here is going to be telling the truth. 9, 10, 11, 12. This one will be 4 at its level. This one will be 3.666, and this one will be 3.3333. That is when you move into the next level. And then when you move into that next level, right, this bean will be the first level. You'll end up with A, B, C, leaving out this level over here, where 10, 11, 12 will now be the C level, because the answer here with 10 divided by 3, can I do that? With 10 divided by 3 equals 3333333, right? Or if you have 11 divided by 3 equals to 3.66666, right? And that's the number of days in the year, right over here inside number 11. 3 and 4, you see it here. This is magical. When you want to know why 3 billion or 2 billion people are sitting in front of a black box, or we have the black box on airplanes, we have the black box, and we have the house of Mecca. It's not for no reason that this place is there, and it's not for no reason that there must be prayers to this. In order to move forward information, we have to understand the information highway. Who is moving forward the information? Where is the information come from? Why must the information move forward? Who are we? Are we receivers? If we are receivers of the word of the Creator, then we must receive. But how can you receive if the river is overflowing, blocked, and jammed, and you never get the information? If you were to create the system, what would you do when the information stops? You know it's been corrupted. So you stop sending new information until the old information goes in, or everything falls, the balloon goes dry, and it ends right there. I'm not going to get into the total details of what I see. It might go too long, and I might not have them all, because it's taken me 19 years to get here, and I'm not done. And I don't know if I'll ever be done, but I know I'm never going to stop, because every single day I seem to be able to find something new, at least new to what I see. We also have, not only in live, we also have civil, right? We also have live, life, civil. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make sure I don't get too lost. Live, life, civil. And when you get civil, okay, the C and the L are both 33. They're bookends, because the L is the 12th letter. 1 and 2 is 3 is C, is the third letter. And what happens, right, is you end up with this over here. 4, 5, and 6. You end up with this word over here. And it's found on the 3 on your telephone. There's been an alphabet shift, right? There's an alphabet shift where the corner of where number 1 is does not start here. We start over here. A, B, C, D, E, F. And the cube ends right here. Now we begin on the second side of the cube over here. And then on the third side of the cube. And now what happens now inside of this is when we get to this area over here, or let's go over here, right? D, E, F, we have G, H, and I. So we have to go D, E, F, okay? And we have to go D, E, F, I'm just trying to think, G, H, and I. So where we have 15, 13, 11, to where we have D, E, F, and we have I, H, and G. So what we're going to have over here is we're going to have 13, 13, and 13 equals to 39. Over here where you have 1, 3, 5, the letters are A, C, E. And in creation, these ones will all, these tens over here will actually be AA and A. Because where J begins, okay, it begins at 17, J 18, J 19. Why is there a difference between this one and this one? Because in French, this one is said in this word. And it is mentioned like this. To where when you mention this one, it's going to be mentioned that this, you do not see a number 6 in this. In this one, it's going to be 15, but you do not see a number 5, which is 5. And this is 6. And number 14, you're going to see a partial 14, in which this one over here is 4. So in 4, you start to see. In 13, you have 3. You can almost and practically see instead of having 3. And then you have 12, which is 12. And then it's 2 for 2. And then in 11, you have 11. And it's ironic, right? 11, 11. And 11 is not 1 and 1. It's not even said as 1 and 1. In fact, it's not 1 and 1. It's supposed to be the way to market. The way to market in French is UN. That's right, boys. UN. 3, 5, 2, 4, 6 and 8, 14, 6 and 8. So would you like to take a look at this? Nothing for nothing, and everything is exactly as it is. Let me see if I can get a few more dice out of here. I think I go through 100 dice a day. I'm not sure if you can see this. So what do we have, 2 and 4? So we take these 2 dice. No magic trick. We flip them over. We have 3 and 5. 3 and 4 is 7 and 7. 6 and 8 is the dividing gate. 5 and 3. And then you're going to get what is 2 and 6. That's where the queen shows up to 51 Mars. 51 Mars. Also, Mars is associated with the 9 birth. So when you have 51 Mars on a cube, you also have 84 void. Because every single side is matched up with this. Once you have the ABCs and this, there's a lot of stories you can tell. That's all you really need. And plus a little understanding of French and English. So we're going to get on with this. Let me put this on my face. Let me see if there's any comments here. I'm going to get back to it and see if I can keep up to myself. But just before I leave it go, I just want to say that this is Mars, this is the sun, and this is the moon. When you multiply, it becomes 34, 51, 68. 360 degrees inside the sun, one times and 1/3. Is that no one 3 parts into 54, and then into 72 is the house of bait, and then you have what is 38 gold to what is 57 in the moon to the spirit of 76 Earth and Mars in the house of bait for the divided house. Mars, Sun, Earth, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, and 3, creation and birth and rotation of the sun. S-U-N, sun. As the 19th letter, 1 and 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. As the 21st letter, 2 and 1 is 3. As the 14th letter, 1 and 4 is 5. The sun, ace. And what does the ace do? The ace divides. If I should put it this way, it would look like an egg. I have a D over here. I have a D over here. I have the cap of the crown, the hexagon if you want. And these letters will say 343, CDC, or 777. 7 come 11, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1. And this is the dividing house we live in. 84 creates 32 and 12, equaling to 44, equaling to 16 and 8, equaling to 24, in which this is 1/3 and this is 2/3, equaling to the 24 hours, 16 hours a day, 8 hours a night. 2/3 also represents the ram, and it's partial of understanding the arm of Mars without the S. S is a plural. I don't like that the camera keeps flashing in and out on me. Yeah, because I have to restore. I terribly hate that this camera keeps doing this to me. It's not fun. Just give me a second. Okay, that's good. Maybe it won't do it. Okay, now it's not doing it. So we have all this over here. Now I'm going to explain to you what this 10 is. If you want to create 10, you're going to go A, B, C, D equals to 10. So it's a combination of all creation to where 4 came into 6 equaling to 10, to where it's A, B, C equaling to 6, or and D, C, B equaling to what is 9 in your rotation of your ABCs through the conformity, starting from here, going down this way, starting from here, going up this way. Although it's 10, right? It's 6, then it gets inverted. You can only go back 3. And every time you go back from this number over here, there's a question to be asked. What are we going to do with this? Should we change the spots? We have to take all these dots on here and move them into every single possible position to better understand everything that's going on inside of this. But right now, what happens is there is one R and many I's. What is that for? Because the minute you move this cube 1 notch, that's a 90-degree turn. When you flip it to get the 7, every time you get a 7, it's 180 degrees. That's your rotation of 360 degrees. 3 by 6 equals to 18, or 180 degrees. 3 plus 6 equals to what is 0.9, or 90 degrees. And this is the way I like to look at it. Now, if you want to go ahead and say this is miles or kilometers, or if you want to use it as Celsius or Fahrenheit, we have to understand all the dimensions of the movements of what is moving to give more of a dimension to the understanding of that situation. So you can say, hey, well, you say a whole lot of words, but can you understand what I'm saying, or just ask me to explain? Okay, I'm going to go get a glass of water. I'm coming back. I'm going to read the comments all the way back to Leonardo Fibonacci. Is that right? If you're asking me, I don't know. I just know it doesn't matter to me who created it, and it does matter who created it, because through the name of someone's creation is a greater story that if I'm going to share something that I need to remember, I'm going to put the obstacles, okay, that need to go with it, in which they're not obstacles at all. Maybe I'm not using the right word, because like I said, if I was creating my own game, what would I do so that I can remember with essential consciousness? I would create more of me. And then I would invite others into my game. And if you invite others into the game, are you black and white, or are you black and white with male and female? How do you show the difference? And why do we need others in the game? For new thinking, so we can expand. And also, should somebody try and steal our game, we have to have a cutoff switch to where the cobweb breaks down, because it's my communication center, not yours. So I'm not going to tell you how my communication works. But right now, lo and behold, between the moon and the sun, and you can't stop what's coming no matter what. And even if everything looks gloomy and downhill, at the end, the sun will shine. One way or another. You know what they say? When you go to jail at 13, it's 25 years to life. I think I need a little bit of hot water, maybe a cup of coffee or something. You okay, buddy? Yeah? You know, one of my thoughts was when the cat, your cat, when the cat licks itself, it's just picking up the information that's out here. Have you ever tried to focus your camera? Like you're looking into the stars, you're focusing your camera, but all you see is snow. Now, I want to know what you're seeing. Is that your color commentary? Well, I adjusted my camera, but it's blurry. Blur. Well, look at that. I spilled water on me. Okay. So your camera is blurry. You're seeing snow. Well, thank God you're seeing snow, because that's exactly what it is. It's not your camera. That's exactly what you're picking up, because you've gone too close to the pixels. The matter and the energy, the movement of the matter and the energy, you're starting to pick it up instead of seeing through it. When the TV ended 40 years ago, we saw the snow coming. Why did that snow come? How can we know something, okay, if we haven't studied it? But use your imagination. Where did the snow come from? How did it come about? If I move my face too close to the screen, what will I see? If I take a picture of the screen, what will you see? Have you ever tried it? Because what you see is the reality. We were all created, under my understanding, through 20 years of work, through essential conscience. When you get close to somebody else, don't you feel you're close to them? Just give me a minute. The water is boiling. You know, when I began this 20 years ago, I was told, don't stop. Now, who told me? I don't know. I have no idea. Don't give up, don't stop, and don't worry. But be careful. Because as much freedom of speech you have. So I came up with a couple of, I was looking over some old stuff back to 2015 and 2016 and 2014. And in 2014, 15, 16, whatever happened in 2020, 2021 was already in my work. And if you go back into the videos, I have to find the date where it is. You will see that I was talking about it, but it's irrelevant, because what we're going to do now is move forward, and piece by piece, I will do my best to explain every single number and every single word that's ever been created in the history of creation, of any single word that you have ever thought of. I can come up with my definitions numerically, but reality sets in. We must all work together for a conscience amongst us of thought. And we have to create, again, I'm going to say it again, I need to create a program and instow all the information and then adjust that program, hoping it's not going to take too long, so everybody can put in their information, like having their own wiki page, right? Obviously that can't be changed unless it's under the administration, right? Okay, so let me go over here. You are wrong, Doc. You are wrong. Who's the Doc and who is wrong? DOC is 3 and 4 with O in the center. O is that Mars area. What lives inside of Mars? Inside the numeric value for Mars. What lives inside of the numeric value for Mars, right? See, Mars is 5 and 1. Okay, now what is 1 and 5? And 1 and 5 and 1 and 5 and 1 and 5. It becomes 60 minutes or 60 seconds. So these all become quarters. You need 4 times 4 quarters. So quarters are noted to be 25. To a single digit count, Earth is number 25. Jack is also number 25, but not to a single digit. Jack is 1 and 3 and 2. Jack equals to 7. So you think Jack be nimble, Jack be quick? Jack got through the gate so quick. 1132, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 is 1 and 2. 3, 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 is 2 and 3. 5. Anything or nothing? So H, 8, T, 2, R, 9, A, 1, E, 5. Mars, spirit in the cycle of man. Man is 28. 91 is spirit, and 51 is Mars. The high man goes up to 89, and it becomes a natural. And what is a natural? It's 10 and 8. It's 7 and 1, or the A, it's 7A, or it's going to be, sorry, it's 10, 8, or 10, 9, and then it's going to be 7A, or it's going to be 8A, and then at the same time, it's going to be 6, 3, and then it's going to be 7, 2, and then it's going to be what is 5, 4. At the same time, we're going to get what is 7, 1. We're also going to get 10. I did the 10, 8 over here. Sorry about that. We are going to get the 6, 2. We are going to get the 5, 3. We are going to get the 4, 4. Now, what is this? There's a game called Baccarat. Notice the RAT, part of what is Mars. See the CAB, 213, same numeric values for cat. Car, you can look at it as also the arc. You can look at the Baccarat or just put this sign. Where is R at? Tarot cards, Torah. So we're going to leave this at this. We have the numeric value for, did we do the numeric value for Earth? 6, 17, 18, 19, 25. And then you have the base value is A, E, B, H, I. So can we unscramble this and make another word out of this? We have A, E, and I. We have 1, 5, and 9. Plus we have B and H, or T and H. T and H does not begin until 4th. Because before that it's 3rd, 22, or 2nd, which is 18, or 1st, which is 39. Birth in Mars, also ape, is your 88 base 8 bronze, which includes the scarecrow. Did I get that right? No, it wasn't the scarecrow, it was the Tin Man. Because tin is silver. But at the same time that tin is silver, bronze has silver in it. Bronze also, if I understood correctly, has copper. You get a copper tone. You also have the copper penny. So we have to understand that if the copper penny is involved, that means gold is involved. Now, we don't have to have solid gold. We just have to have a look-alike. All those bronze statues in gold that was made from the third world into where all we have is runner-up. And these will give you 18 and 21, which leads into the 7th inning stretch, equaling to 39 to what would be noted to be angel. If we have more than one and we have angels, we have 57. Now it's angels coming out of the moon. We have angels coming out of the moon. When the two angels come together out of the moon and you put them together, we end up with these 88 angels. Where do I get this from? Well, the triangles that come together. Six, the hexagon. See the hexagon center? See that hexagon center? We're just going to make it a little bit larger. Right? And then once we complete the hexagon center, right, we just end up with the cube. And then we can add the wings on the same way we did it over here, once we understand our numerics and how it works. Now, what is this in the game of Baccarat? All this is going to be 8. All this is going to be 8. All this is going to be 8. This one over here is found in 1 cube. This one over here is found in 1 cube, right over here. This one over here is found in 1 cube, although it's different in the game of Baccarat than it is in the game of blackjack. Here is the house of bait, which can be found over here, and this is your base creation. So your base creation is related to what is 8 and 7, the queen and the king. Why the queen and the king? The number of eyes in the deck of cards and the queen and the king relates to this, to where it's 3 and 4 and 0 and 1, meaning that there's 0 cards with 1 eye, meaning that there's 1 card with 1 eye in this situation over here. This is going to represent Earth and parts of what is. So now what we have in 5 over to 1, we have 4, 3, 2. So the same thing of 5 over to 1 is what is like 9 over to 5, which is 9 over to 5, which is 8, 7, and 6. That when we put these together, we end up with 1, 1, 1, which is the center of the base cube. The center of that base cube can be found right over here. 111 marking on roulette of 36 numbers or 360 base numbers is found right over here, where the hexagon where the octagon comes in to connect 236 areas for 72 in the house of bait, to where in each area you create 2 hexagons and then a joining hexagon. I can close this area here and have 4 hexagons inside my octagon, but also to note that it cannot just be created just like that without understanding area space. What is the X in? What is the X that uses 4? Your smallest. Here is one that uses 1X. This is not going to create an X. This will create 4 spares. Because in bowling, we cut them in half, 4 spares and 1 strike. Because we cut every box in half, and then we have over here 4 different boxes to where X marks the spot, to where we're going to come up with this over here. Just let me have a sip of coffee, and I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about. We also have to understand gematria on one of these baby scales over here to where if you take a close look on the inside, the same image will be on the inside as a cutout. Notice inside right over here. Okay. The Mayans seem to design this way. And then when you create more of them, we now have the house in between. I can lower these closer together just to show you we have the house in between. And in between here, because of the separation with or without, we're going to create that Star of David connecting both sides. I'm not sure if I can copy this and go to paint and then let me see if I can do that again. Just give me a second. Take a screenshot. So just give me a second. Okay. Copy. Okay. Let me get rid of this for now. Somebody once told me it was a butterfly when I do that. Mary. That's right. It was Mary. So now I'm going to just see something if I can just do this. Yeah. Okay. So what happens is, hold on a second. Is I'm going to just give me a second. I got to I just need to take a little cup of tea. Just I have to learn one day to go slower, but I'm going as I see it. I'm trying to put it together as I go. Even though I've done it before, I'm trying to see what pattern I'm going on. I'm going to show you this piece. Then I'm going to show you the separation between dots and dashes. And every time you come up to a 3 and a 4, you're now dividing the gate. This is the year of the dividing gate. And then it happens again in the year 2030. But the reality sets in is the gate has already been divided, because 2023, when it comes to an end, it's actually 2024 coming to the end, putting number 7 behind us. So when we go into 2024, we're actually in 2025. When we go into 2024, it's 2024 behind us. We're going into 2025, which is 45. And that's where the fox pass and the sun comes in. Then our next one that becomes completed is at the end of 2030. That's when that one completes. The next 7th gate ends over here. That means it's what I understand is another moon cycle. 3 times 28 is 84. 4 times 21 is 84. How the numbers, the cubes, the gearing comes together. So just give me a second over here. Okay, just somebody's asking me a question. I want to go see if there's somebody that said something in the group over here. One person responded to, just give me a second over here. Just give me a second. It's really hot. I think I'm going to open my door. It's extremely hot. Okay, so I'm going to take the camera and show you that design again for 2 seconds. So I drew a line here, and I'm going to draw the line here, right? And hold on a second. I'm going to draw the line. See, they're supposed to be even. Are they even? Yeah, okay. Draw the line here. Draw the line over here. Now, see this area over here? See the area over here? This area where this 7 is, we must take it and start, let me see, right over here and go right through here. And the reason for that is I need to take 7 and 6 or 7 and 5. In my new designs, I went 7, 5, 3. So I have to take the top point out. I can't take one out. I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, so when I do that and I cover this one in between over here, I end up with that Star of David, that crisscrossing effect. Let's see if that came out right. Did that come out right? I got that, and I got that. These lines came together. Yeah. Did they come together properly? Okay, and at the same time, when this is created, you notice I have two different areas here and two different areas here, and we're living in between four areas. Anyways, this is just one piece of my design. It's not finished, but you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to have to go back and look at the comments here. Curbside, cubeside, cubert, right. Tetris, right. Minecraft, right. Pixels, right. 11, 13, 15, 13, 52. French maps. Let me see new comments. Hold on a second. Let me see where I am. Yes, the same thing with snowflakes. Wait. Where am I? I missed something. Oh, boy. Well, I'm a little bit far behind. I think I got 50 comments here. Quartz, Capri. Okay, Capri can also be noted to be a RAM for the reason that there's a soap being made and they use the RAM and it's sort of capricious or in price. So I'm just trying to figure out that. Oz and Hertz. Oz is number 77 in Chaldean, which is a value of 8. Chaldean is 8. Gematria is 7. And our alphabet is 9. 44 is for area space. 40 equals to 60, and 4 equals to 60, and 40 equals to 105. So that'd be 165. There's 156 dots in Rubik's Cube. Should we put 9 to every face? But since all these, okay, have no center, I only can put 4 and 1 dot on this builder's code running to the corners. So each one of these will be 4 by 9 is 36 plus 9. Equaling to 45. That will be our birth. The center one over here also, if you want to go down, we can go down, in between the divisions over here. So my question is, do we put the dots on this area or do we use the dots down here in the division? If you notice in the division, there's an area right over here. Mars 1, Mars 2, Mars 3, Mars 4. When you get 4 Marses, you get 1 Earth. When you get 4 Marses, you get 1 Earth. You have 6 Earths, and you have 24 Marses. 6 and 24. Do you understand? I'm going to explain that to you again. Mars is a window. If I use a window in this, and I use it as this, here is a window. Mars gets a single division. Earth needs 2 divisions. So if Earth needs 2 divisions, Earth gets 9 areas, Mars gets 4. Earth gets a 9 birth, 3 by 3, and Mars gets a 2 by 2, 3 by 3 and 2 by 2. Ape, coming from ape, the missing piece is because you have never been shown the missing piece. If you had to recreate in order to transfer ape into man, what would you do? And that's the missing piece. Is it that hard? Well, it can't be. It can't be. Why can't it be? Take away something, put something new. Make it work. In order to make something work, you have to take something away and put something else in. You know, if I was making a circle, you know what I would do to turn it into a square? I'd chop it up 36 times. It would look a little bit like this, but at least it looked the way it is. Give me a little bit of this juice. So I want to run back just 2 seconds. Where I was talking about, yes. So I was talking about this, and this is where your division of day and night is. Also, it's a reflective in T20, counting, G7. They're the same reverse alphabet, but I just want to go back a little bit. I don't know if I was in this or not. there was a piece earlier on. Maybe I'll just do it now and I'll get back to it. That remember we did G for 7 and E for 5. We went 7 man. We went E woman. We have the T reverse 20. We have the V reverse 22. We now have 2022 TV 5G. This becomes 2 and 4, which is becoming 8 and 6, and that's where you divide the big 6 and the big 8. Notice 6 is number 52, 8 is 49, and you have 92. That is your birth in the sun. Let's call it yellow, because number 92 is yellow. It is the IT system, 18 and 11 equals to 29, where the R and the K come together. Roi, king in French. 11 and 18, I already marked it once. So where this one's going to create you a natural. And this one's, right? And this one over here is going to create 1 and 2. 2 and 1. 1 and 1. They fit together perfectly. 1 and 8, if you put 8 and 1 together and 9 and 2 together, you now have 9, 11. So the 11th letter is K and the 9th letter is L. So you have 9, 11 over here. In this one, you have 17 and 3. So your creation of 3 is 17 to Q gate inside Mars to the high birth, the heavens of birth. Inside 6 and 8, when you add them together, they become 101. Or if you want to look at it as 11 or 2 inside the house of Bates. When you add them up to a single digit, it equals to one thing. When you add them up whole, they equal to something else. Big 6 and 8. When you look at big 6 and 8, it is the dividing of the gate in the house of DC. 6 and 8. House. 6 and 8. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, 6 and 8. When you look at that, it becomes the 60 minutes by 3 periods of 20 minutes, where it becomes 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. We have 2/3 of the game on the outside, and then we have the center period where everything rotates around that center period. Right over here, that would be your average to everything that's on the outside. Do note that the 4, 5, and 6 all have something in common, to where when the 1, 2, 3, the 2 has something in common with the 3, and the 1 has something in common with the 3, and then we come out and play. That if we should be designing this, right? Has anybody ever seen what 2 hearts do? 2 hearts on top of each other looks like 808. But at the same time, we also can square off our heart. Have you ever looked at having a heart like this? Right? Does that look like a heart? Because I've once asked somebody before and they said it doesn't look like a heart. So we're going to do it again. But I'm just going to do it a little bit different this time. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do this. See the way this is the half area where I'm using halves here and split apart. So there's separation here, but this separation does this. I have no choice. I have to go through the area. I have to go through the area. These are all obligations. See the way I have to start over here and I have to go through the area to complete this. See where we end up with that I? Let me see if it's the other one. More or less like that. The B. So we're going to do this over here. We have one of them. Then I'm going to try to get onto my Fibonacci and explain it to you. So we have one of them. I'm going to create the same thing. So we have 2 of them that come together. And what happened while we were designing this is that, wow, I'm embarrassed that I don't have enough. is that this area here was empty, this area here was empty, and this area here is empty. So therefore, you know that if those three areas are empty, and if one of the areas with this, that means that the black hole is outside the heart and not inside the heart. And should it be outside the heart, that would mean that this entire area, I just lost my yellow pen right here on the desk. That would mean this entire area now I'm going to try and think, how would I be able to connect? Would I be able to connect this together this way? Or do I connect this together this? I'm just trying to see different ways that this has to be connected. You notice the hexagon here, the hexagon over here, the crown here, the crown here, the crown here. Well, the Jack and the King have crowns like this. You would have to create another one of these images to bring two crowns together, bringing two different cubes together. Or we can finish it off this way if you want to look at it. But all these yellow areas are on the outside of the cube. So if that's true, that this center dot hole is actually a black hole that's on the outside of this cube and not on the inside of this cube, unless you're going to tell me that it's the number 4, right? See the way it's one corner over here? Is it this one? Is it 4 areas in this base, or is it 8 areas in this base? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is made with 4 areas, this one over here. And this is made at 4 areas. They're overlapping. This would be the Mars base creation. This would not be the Earth base. I would have to make it larger or perhaps overlap it to call it Mars. It might be a little confusing. I'm trying to see which way I can go with this design. I've done it so many times, but I have to keep doing a little bit more art in it to get a better understanding that I can explain. I need an answer that can be understood. I'm looking at more to comments. Yes, we're going to get back to 2 and 6 because the inverted to what is 5 and 1 Mars, or 1 and 5, is 2 and 6 or 6 and 2. And when you bring in 51 and 15 together, it equals to 66, which is woman and freedom. When you bring and also creates 48, which is sun, and the dividing of the night and the day. So it seems like the male divided the night and the day, to where the inverted of 26, 62 is now what is 88, and that is the invert to what is 66. On a dice cube, 8 is the invert to 6. So therefore, in the 88 calculation, we need 4 dice. I'm going to just write it out. To where what we have is 5 and 1, right? And 1 and 5 equals to what is 66, to what is 2 and 6 and 6 and 2, to what is 88. So we end up with 3 and 7 over here. The multiplication of this will end up to be 36 and 12 equaling to 48. The multiplication of that will equal to 44. It will be the division between night and day inside of thirds. This one will end up to be 80. 8 times 8, 8 plus 8 equals to 64 and 16. So we might make it 64 and 16, and inside of that you have the Q gate. The A, B, C, D, Jack 10 that is mirrored and created inside of Pegasus. The 1/3 and the 2/3, the inverted of these, of 8 and 6, is either 51 and 62, it is 53 and 42, it is 33 and 44. And here's where you get your 6, 8, 8, 6, 6, 8. These are the combinations. These are outside the box. Outside the cube is 1 and 7. Equals to what is 8. And then you end up with these letters. Headquarters. Or with 6, you end up with these letters. Fox headquarters. Fox 45. Headquarters 51. 96 in rotation, which would be your February month, where the 14th is Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year. Let me read down some more of the comments. I'm going to try to get over. It's really late. I'm going to do a real quick buzz over the Fibonacci that I promised the last 2 days, and I never got there. Oh, my God. Matter and Energy, China. CBA running in the cat. The kill switch, Leonardo da Vinci, okay, of the Fab. I see the snow. I can see the snow without the camera. Yes, me too. I don't want to say me too, but very good. Everybody, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. The people that jive with me are very few and far in between. I have just one friend, I think, that can understand my complexity, although this person cannot actually understand, but lets me do my thing. There's a lot of people that want me to just stop, but that's fantastic. Very good. I like that. Thank you. I'm just fantastic. Thank you for being here. Spots and dots, lines and dots for counting. Very important. Earth and Mars counting together in time. Every time you get 5, it seems like you get a line, or you get a crossing line. When you get a crossing line this way or this way, like the picket fence, it usually means you have 4 plus 1. When we went to school, we did it this way. We also have to note that in Roman numerals, and I didn't finish this, okay, but I'm gonna jump onto it because I did it before. And in Roman numerals, right, you have D, C, M, L, X, V, and so you end up with 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. So you would think 1 plus 2, 3, and 4 is like that, right? But it's actually not, because it's 1,000 over to 500. So when you're counting from 5 over to 1, you get 2, 3, and 4. When you're counting 10 over to 5, you're getting 9, 8, 7, and 6. So now you're talking about the division right over here. Although 1 plus 0 equals to 5. Now you would look at the roulette wheel, right? And on the roulette wheel, the 10 is black. The 1 is red. Every second one in roulette is red, black, red, black. So this one over here is what equals to 30. And this one over here equals to your 9. So it becomes 3 and 9, angels of the rat, planet Saturn. So you have 2, 3, 4, and this number over here. So when you put these numbers together, what do you get? You end up with 9, 30. You end up with what is 39. If I should put them together, how can I put these together as 2, 3, 4? Would I get 9, 8, 7, and 6? Is this a bowling move, right? Can I connect these together, and then these together, and then these together? Noted that 7, 4, 6 is the word God. And this one would say too high. And this one is the gateway of creation. The queen, the king, the jack, and the birth. This, I presume, gets knocked out. And your birth gets inverted into this area over here. I have to brush this over and take a little look of what actually is going on. 9 and 6, 15, 7 and 8, 15. This is your rotation. 78 and 78 and 33 and 69. 6 and 9 is 15. 7 and 8 is 15. Where does this come from? 1 times 7 equals to 7. 1 plus 7 equals to 8. 3 times 3 equals to 9. 3 plus 3 equals to 6. Although we both end up with 15, we started with 86 on the addition side. That's why I always like to look at it. I always work it on the addition side. If it's on the addition side, here's your 8 and 6, 14. Here's your 7 and 9, 16. This is telling me about the electric moon. This one is telling me rotation inside of Mars, and the Queen is with this Mars. This is your rotation inside the sun. The reason I say this is 69. I showed you the design before of 69. Let me just go back to it for 2 seconds. Here, right over here, and right over here. You notice when you look at this, what do you see? A long, long time ago, back in the 60s and 70s, when we wanted to see a negative, right, we would use something like this. We would look through it, and it would get larger, and it would show us that picture, right? And at the same time, we end up in this one, okay, pending how you draw your 6, you end up with this one, this one, this one, and this. You end up with that. This is a sign of crucifix. I have another design for this. Let me see if I can find this design. I got that design. Just give me a second. I'm looking for the... Oh boy, I missed a phone call. Okay, let me see this over here. Where am I? Oh yeah, here. Just give me a second. Note to self. I don't know if I can show you this piece here. Just 1 second. I don't know if I have it, because the word crucifix will create that in artwork. Let me see what I have here. Which piece do I have here? No, that's not the piece. That's not the piece. Okay, so we're not going to get into that right now. So these are 2 different parts of the same 6 and 9 design. Here is when we have the 6, and then when we want to connect the 2 together, we create 8. So we go from the hexagon to the connecting together the octagon. And inside an octagon is going to be another hexagon. At the same time, we then can create this reality. See the hexagon inside of it? But the star shows an 8, but the connection shows a 6. So we're going to leave that at that. Just give me a second to go through the rest of these comments and try and remember what I missed out on. I have allergies. My Acacia girl had a story about Snow Mountain. You see white noise on an old TV. It would let you know when something else electrical, I guess, makes a pattern of an odd TV. And at the same time, when you couldn't get good reception, it's because of the interference of the energy that was in between that reception of the antenna. So also in Nicera Jacera, the NE and the GE, although the GE in Nicera Jacera anybody want to help me out? Send me a lot of pens. Nicera Jacera, also in Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, the last 2 letters of both words, when you put them together, it says NASA. Also in Nicera Jacera, what you get over here is GE is 57, so it's talking about 5G TV, and then over here it's talking about 5 and 5. This is going to be the representation inside the passing in the sun, Skygate, and this one will be the moon. So this one over here, pass, is 55. The word, what is the other word? Wow, sky. Yeah, sky is also number 55, which will create the numeric value 8 after. In Jacera Nicera, you will go NEGE. The only thing missing is the connection of the I, the division between N and E and G and E. I is a division. H, we'll be talking more about Earth and I will be talking more about Mars, Earth, Mars. Now, if I would put it this way, it'd be the same thing, right or wrong? Which way would it be? Or how about if I created it this way? So it's questionable. Well, why do I say this? Because Earth gets 2 lines and Mars gets 1, 2 lines and 1 line. Or Mars gets 1 line alone, which divides 2 sides, and the Earth gets 2, which have something encompassed between the 2 sides. Now we can go over to 3 and 4 again. So we can go to CFL, we'll get 3, and NFL, we'll get 4. 4 downs and 3 downs, to where one of them will get 55 yards and the other will get 50 yards. All zeros equal to 6, but at the same time, all zeros equal to 9. The inverted cube of 5 is 5 and 4, 9. The inverted cube of what is 9 is 4 and 1, 5. It is 1, 4, and 2, 3. Here it's number 23. Here it's number 14. When you go to the roulette board, it creates this design because this area and this area and this area and this area are both red, where this area and this area are both black, and it's the only place it happens in the separation of 36 numbers. I want to see what I missed out on or I didn't, and then we're going to go back to something else. I wanted to show you something else over here, right? So I think I'm going to put down the, I don't know if I'm going to, I'm going to put down the grid lines, okay? I want you to understand, I'm not sure if you can see it, is that if there's a single square in between these two, I will end up creating, I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to do it here first. I'm going to explain this. You see this? Whoop. Here is one area. It comes to a point. When it comes to a point, it means the fine line in the center will be in the center of a dot and not a square. And then I put this on top of it. Now imagine if this was all pixels. So one can go through the other if they were all pixels. Now we connect them together, right? I either connect with one cube or complete the cube. Now the dots that I put on, okay, do you understand where the dots are covered? The center of this one, the center of this area cube, because now there's 2 cubes on top of each other. So you're seeing a bit of an illusion, right? So at the same time, there's one there. There has to be one here, and there has to be one here. At the same time, there has to be one here, and one over here. So when you look at this, this is the way that design comes out. I forget which ones I'm not supposed to put because of its actuality. Maybe I should have put this one a little bit lower. Well, in this design, right, in roulette, this one will be number 14. This one will be 18. This one will be 21. This one over here is going to be 19. This one over here is going to be 16. This one over here is going to be 17. And this one here is going to be 20. When these two connect, it's 37. When these two connect, it's 37. And when these two connect, it's 37, connecting the cubes at the heart. When I create this one over here, what has to happen with that one over there is it like this over here. See the way there's an area space in between? That would be the Earth area space, to where Mars would come to a point. You see the way Mars, this area antenna, comes to a single point, so that this is the one single antenna. If we use this one over here in towards the Olympics, you would have the bronze, the silver, and the top, and then you would have this one over here, and then you'd have the last one over here. If I was using this formation, maybe I'll be calling it the bowling formation, where we have one over here, we have 2 over here, we have a third one over here, and then the other one over here. We have one here and we have one here. And this is your 10 formation. I didn't do that right. But anyways, you can see the way, I should have did it that way. 1 second. You can possibly do it this way. It all depends whether you see the way this is CV, right? The way this comes together. Here's your 3 over here. Here's your 3 over here, and then your 1 and 1. Anyways, to say with that, this one would be Mars, and this one would be Earth. When you're creating Earth, you're getting this. When you're creating this, which one? The question is, which one, where X marks the spot, does the eye come out with that dot over the eye? Because the only way to get a dot over the eye, I can't draw a line this way. My line has to be on here in order to do that. So is my eye coming out of Mars or coming out of Earth? If it's coming out of Earth and there's a dot with X marks the spot, my line has to go this way. 45-degree angle, marking Fox. Reverse of that is HQZ. It becomes Fox headquarters. 686868. House of DC, 1824, 9 and 6 rotation in the sun and the moon. Now I'm going to show you just one more piece. And note that 4th, right? It starts at 4th and it goes all the way up to 20th. But there's separations in there because of how the French say the numbers. So now I'm going to go into my first formation to explain the Fibonacci. Just as I'm not going to do the whole thing tonight, I'm a little tired. But here's Fibonacci. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 and 2 is 5. 5 and 3 is 8. 8 and 5 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 8 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 and 4 is 7. 7 and 3 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. 1 and 7 is 8. 8 and 1 is 9. 9 and 8 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. 8 and 9 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. 17, 17 comes together over here. 3 and 4, Earth and Mars comes together over here. 8 and 7 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 6, 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 6 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 and 1 is 6. 6 and 5, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 8 is 10. 28, cycle. 2 and 8 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 and 8 is 9. 9 and 1 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we do the whole board of 24, 25, and 26. We don't need the 26. We only need the 24. But if we're going to start over again, we need the 25. Once you have the 25, you're on Earth. Sabbath is noted to be 25 hours. It is the Q gate. When we redo this, it becomes this formation, the shallow formation. By the way, this is the letter F on the inside, but it's created with a 3. And then this image over here. Not going to get into that part right now. The cow has 4 nipples. The goat has 2 nipples, 5 and 7, male and female. Female for the cow, male for the goat, but then it gets inverted when you double up. Cat and dog, DC, C, where your communication, where your C is at where? In the moon, your D, but your C and D, these come together at AI. We're going to look at Chaldean. No, we're going to go and finish that piece off that I spoke about. Yes, I want to talk about live also. Let me see. Where did I do that? Hold on a second. I did it over here. So what is this? Okay, this is the Fibonacci design. This is one of its designs. This over here, this area over here also sort of looks like a 3, the elongation of it over here. Maybe I should put the straight line over here, but I did not. I'm still working on Allison Gray's letters. I haven't had time. I haven't got anything done, but I eventually will get it done, where we're going to break down the letters and see why they are what they are, how much area space that it takes up. Remember area space, right, between this one dot and this square. This is where phi and pi will come in because of this. Also to note, phi and pi comes in because of what happens to the cube. 4 areas, 4 areas, 4 areas, and 4 areas. But in 16, I only use 9. When I use 16 of 9, it becomes 16 and 9, or it says pi, or it says 44 and 33. 3 to the power of 2 and 4 to the power of 2. 22, by the way, is ape. So this is what your design is. In here are the odd numbers. Here are the even numbers, and it creates this image. Now, if I inverted this design, let me see if I can find some more paper. Feel free to send me a coupon for a Bureau en Gros or something so I can get more books and pens and office supplies or anything I can use for my computer to upgrade what I'm doing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to redo that. So what I have to do is I'm going to try and see if I can do it blind, where I'm going to go that. I'm starting over here, right? I'm going to do that. And note, when you put down 4 X's, you can create a big O. X and O, very important. XO in a line. XOI creates everything, or XO in a line, right? How about 10X or 10X? That's how all my designs, a lot of my designs are understood to be created as base. I can use other things, but this is what I'm doing right now. So I have 2 of these, 1 square, 1X, 1 square, square, X. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see. This is now a square. This is now an X. This is now a square. This is now an X. This is now a square. Then over here is another X. Then over here is another X. Then here's another X. Another X. Another. Whoop. No. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. No, that's right. That's right. That's right. Just trying to see this one to this one. Okay. Then this one. Hold on a second. I just to see. I'm. Oh, sorry if you're not seeing that. I'm just trying to see. X. We got this one down here at the bottom. Then this one becomes a square. This line here 1, and this line here 2. So this one has to be a square. This one has to be a square over here. And this was a square. This was an X. Oh, and this was an X. Now it's a square. So this one has to be a square. Square, square. This one was square, square. This one is. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got this right. We're going to be here. Square, X. Let me do this right. Here's a square. Here's an X. Here's the X. Here's the square. Here's that one here. Here's that one here. Here's that one here. Now I finish this one here. Okay. Then this one over here. Right. And then this one over here. And then I did those 4 things. So after that, I ended up with here and here, okay, which is going to be, let me see, I got all this done. And where this X comes over here, I have the square, and then this one is the X. Then over here are the 2 squares, right? I think I got the 2 squares, or the 2 squares come together. I think I got, did I get this right? And then the third one over here, did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one will be the square over here. So now I'm going to get the square here. Did I get that right? Let me just see this. Sorry if it's too much light. I need to be able to see. I get the X here. I get the X here. I get the X here. I get the O here. I get the X here. I get the X here. So I got 1, 2, 3. I get the O here. I get an X here. I get this one over here. So now I have that here. Then I had a X here, an X here. Did I get that right? And then I had the X here. And then I have this one over here. And I have that one over there. And I have this one over here. This is a little bit complicated. Then I have this here, this here, this here, and this here. So that's how these two end up, right? So I'm going to go and color in all of these. Well, I have another design for Fibonacci, and this is only one flip side, right? This is only one flip side. Whoop, let me close that in. See, now the question is, I couldn't do it the same way because these were all squares. I can go turn them all into boxes I didn't want. And now in this, right, you notice these are all going to be more or less the Mars reality working with the X. And the reason for that is because it goes directly in the center. Mars is directly in the center. X cannot mark the spot. And all of this design, right? In all of this design, I'm going to explain it in a second. To explain it in a second, just give me a second. And you do notice that when I create the X's, all the diamond likes are now on an angle. So when I explain this, it becomes the 24th and the 15th letter. The reverse is 03, C, and 12, L. The total is 15. We're locking it up with Mars, right? So this becomes what is 3 and 6, and this becomes what is 3 and 6, 1 and 5, 6. And that's your 360 degrees in rotation. That's the way I like to look at it. So your straight lines can be an X, and they're also noted to be as so. This piece over here and this piece over here. Anyways, Raphael, I'm not done, but I'm a little tired, so I'm going to go through. Yes, Zeter is actually the dog Earth, is what it is. And Eretz, yes, Eretz is that the house Eretz? Okay, let me read back. Don't give up. Well, Bible codes, give me a couple of them. We'll see where they fit. You're supposed to get words if you circle every 7th letter. Please show me. Oh, there's definitely something in there. Baccarat. Yeah, I can use a few looking in a couple of books, I guess. If I read more books, I would have more knowledge. Perish is like a fruit, right? Pear also meaning two. It also means per. When you use RI and SH, they are both an inverted alphabet to each other. ER can be what it is as a word ending, just like ING. But when you look at ING, that G is actually looking like a 6. So the G is both looking like a 6 and a 7, as well can be understood as a 5 in all of it. You see, the time there are people standing up right now. I don't want to get into that piece. Elohim, El is in love. How many? 5 and 2 loaves of bread to feed the people. That's right. 1,202 rabbits. Forget about the first 2 letters. It becomes 3. Forget about the 0. Maybe the 0 is telling us it's on the next level. So is it 12? Is it 2? Or is it 11? Or is it 20? Or is it 29? Or is it 38? 38 becomes gold. John Kepler, 1571, in the gateway of Mars and Earth, the half-life of creation, AI, something to do with the moon. Leonardo. Early Greek philosophers attempted to explain order in nature, anticipating modern concept by Pythagoras, yes, to a single digit, explain patterns in like nature, harmonies of music arising from numbers. (4747), 1 with 2, 1 with 4, dividing the gate of DC 77. Matter and energy. You have energy in 427 and a dividing gate. You have direct current in 34 DC to what is 73, which is creation of the gates, to what is 74, can be noted as time, energy, also Jesus. It also, if you note, in the house of Bait, in the house of Bait, number 27, physical objects are never more than imperfect copies. Right. It's never a perfect circle, depending on how you create it. And don't forget, if there's a dot in the middle of the flower, it tells you one story. How is that flower made up? I'd have to take a look to see whether it's an Earth flower or a Mars flower. Leo is 3 letters. The Kabbalah. They say the Kabbalah, the house of Mecca. Bala also means to sweep. If you have a sweep, you've swept a series. When you're sweeping a series, you're usually, if you're playing baseball, it's 2 games out of 3. You want 2, the other one 1. Baseball is noted to be played in parts of 3s, except when you get to the 7th inning and when the game becomes official. Do note that the Angels come in the 7th inning, at the 7th inning stretch, with R and U coming together is 18 and 21. There's also another piece. I don't know if I took a picture of it on my phone today. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can. And right now, it's 1:51, the 111th minute of the day. This over here. What that is that actual Star of David 6 and 9. Can you see the cube in the center? Okay, anyways, we're going to get to another one, see if I have Yeah, I wanted to show you. Yeah, oh no, I showed you this. Just a little piece on numbers, that this would be number 8, the design of number 8. Why is it design of number 8? Because the centered line that's together is 44. 4 and 4 is 8. On the outside is 53, 62, 71. Let me see, am I finding the word crucifix? Hold on a second. That is the word crucifix. If I turn it to this, whoop. If I turn it to the side, wow, I can't believe I'm getting so much. You see the C-R-U-C-I-S, so crucifix. When you stand it up, it looks like that. I'm not really sure where else we're going to go with this. I think I'm going to end it. I'm a little bit tired. I'm trying to get through the comments. The cube, there's a cube at every single corner, for sure. Okay, I went through the basic comments. I can't read anymore. Where is everybody from, if they don't mind sharing before I go? I know somebody's from Arizona. I know we have Seattle. I know we have Georgia. I know I'm not sure who's watching. I know we have someone from, I think, New Zealand. And be free. If you want to help out the channel, that'd be just fantastic. I'm going to leave you my email. Static reality. All I know is my eyes are done for the day. If you want to send me or ask me a question, you can ask me a question here. If you want to help out the channel, I have a PayPal account at the same address. North Carolina. Oh, are you getting part of that hurricane out there? NC, North Carolina. That's like, if I had to move south, I don't think I'd want to move any further than right about North Carolina or South Carolina. It would be like central for going places. That's the way I see it. And plus, you get to be have a chance to get to the ocean, but only in the New World, because right now I really don't want to move anywhere at all. Maybe we can do a seminar at Valencia College. California shouts out, you are always welcome to the Golden State. I'll tell you one thing. I was up in San Francisco in the late 80s, 86, 85, 87, almost every week, because of what I did. I drove truck. And there's one part when you're going from that area over towards Reno, Nevada, where there's a highway that all you see is these beautiful trees, this cold air, beautiful blue skies. Now I look up into the sky and I don't see any sky anymore. Since when I was 10 years old, I remember what that sky looked like with these fluffy bunny rabbit clouds. I don't see them anymore. Now, I don't know where Valencia College is, but you know what? If we had to do a seminar, I would love to come out, get together a group, and let's work on this like every single day, a few hours a day. We need to create that program. We need to understand there's so much
right? Should it be on this angle? Should it be square? Should it be on this angle? Where should the pixels be? What is actually going on? Oh, many mysteries hide in the desert. Wow. I know there's many mysteries hidden in the desert, right? I'm kidding. I know it's, and A through Z, right? And it's funny that A through Z, Arizona, is A through Z is where the sun shines, because it equals to 351, creation in Mars, where the sun shines, Arizona. There's a highway in Arizona, Highway 93. I think it's coming out of, not Tempe, Arizona, but I was going north. There's 293s, and I took the wrong one. It looked like, but I was going to find Bugs Bunny up there. Let me see this. Whoa, I'm trying to understand that. Not that I know of. The AZ were many mysteries here in Arizona. But I got to finish that book. Maybe we can do a seminar. Let's do it. Let's get that seminar going. My cat just started my printer. Anyways, we're going to end the video. Much appreciated. I'm just trying to, I just know that this land has to go back to the beginning. So where it is at the end is in the beginning. And that's where the word in the end or Indian at ton is also an expression of 2,000 years, anonymous. It's also for orphans inside that word. There's other words that come out for who the land belonged to, but in all actuality, it belonged to every human that was born and every animal that lived on the planet. In all due respect, thank you for watching this video. The animals, we were born on the same day. Creation was on the same day as the animals. If you do not respect the animals, you do not respect yourself. We were born on day 6. It was a touchdown. On day 7, it was the day of rest. It was the extra point that gave us life. When God rested and made a billion of itself, and we are the day of rest, creation. We are living with that point. Yes, it is in Diane that it is the INDIAN coming together. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. The best thing you can do is what? Share the videos, share the knowledge, tell people what you believe, true or false, what is true, what is false, and what is true. False is a word, true is a word. Every letter in the alphabet is inside that word. The definition between true and false is a numeric mathematical equation. Thank you for watching this video. I have no idea what I'm doing, but the end.